77th Mount SAC Invitational, boys Division 1-2 Sweepstakes, Maximo Zavaleta from Martin Luther King. First and foremost, an incredible 3-week stretch. He's at a first, he's at a second, he's at a third. Obviously today, I know he definitely wanted more in such a high-quality sweepstakes race, but he will have the blessing of being back here twice more before his extraordinary cross-country career at King is over. Maximo, obviously, 99.9% of the guys that get on the line here would love to run, a 14:52 and not feel accomplished in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But just in terms of what these last 3 races between 46 ASICS Calif Invitational, Fleet Feet Inland Empire Challenge, and now here today at the 77th Mount SAC Invitational, I asked Elizabeth the exact same thing. What does that require of you, not only physically but mentally and emotionally at this stretch of the year?
Definitely, it takes a lot. Being consistent for how you're managing your time and your sleep and all that. That's very important. You can't falter with that, and you gotta stay mentally strong. You can't just I think I had an issue of I had a good performance at Clovis, and then I had a good performance at Inland Empire that my mental strength kind of just was okay, maybe I don't have to be so locked in, but I think that was my mistake this week. Definitely, I love having the competition. Definitely how I loved running with Jackson Spencer. Same right here. I love.
I mean, you're the only guy in the country that can say I've raced against Spencer and Van Meerten.
Yeah. So. I mean, it was
and probably equally humbling at times, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's very humbling, but it's very nice being able to, great guys, they come from these different places, and just being able to have them come here and race, I wanted to make the most out of it and just go for it, go hard. This is the time to do it, definitely. So I know my limits, I know my strengths, so that'll definitely be what I'm gonna take moving forward. I'll know what that pace feels like, so maybe then I want to try, by the time I get to CIF finals, I want to try being 5 seconds behind what he got today,
right.
The same for Clovis. I want to be 5 seconds behind what Jackson got,
right.
If not even a better performance. So, it's all easier said than done, definitely. So these next couple weeks are going to have to be very focused, nothing, I can't falter or anything, so that's what it's going to take.
And I said to Elizabeth as well, for all the racing, probably going to do you some good, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, just to get back in the lab and just work on some things, right? Because it's a lot to, you said, you got with your things going on, academically and nutrition and hydration and rest and whatnot, and then to be oh, by the way, we got to travel from Riverside to Fresno. We got to, I know Inland Empire's in the backyard. We got to travel from Riverside to Walnut, and then we got to, rise up to the occasion over and over and over again because you've set the bar so damn high for yourself since you were a sophomore.
Yeah, so
you're a victim of your own success, my friend. But so just to be able to go back and just work on some things and be very purposeful and intentional in that training to get yourself ready for what will be another demanding 3-week stretch, prelims, finals, and state, and Lord willing, health providing, even a 4th week beyond that.
Yes.
Are you looking forward to not just a race, a week where there's no racing, but just time to kind of get that last meaningful training block in?
Yes, that'll definitely be crucial for the next couple weeks for sure.
I've never asked you this because I always want to stay present and in the moment. But as a Southern Section athlete, especially with the revision of the course, Trey Caldwell comes down here last year and resets it, and then obviously Ollie was so close yesterday, and then Jace took it down a tick, and Johannes took it down many tick. But at the start of the year, among the goals that you outlined for yourself, obviously Woodward Park and here being the 2 focal point courses. But was it an ambition of yours that if you were healthy and feeling good, that you wanted to challenge whatever the all-time course record was going to be? Is that something that's really significant to you in your career legacy before you leave here?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely the goal was to break the course record. That was before we knew, he would come from Flagstaff.
The hired gun from Arizona has come here.
Yeah, so plans changed. I knew if I stuck with him, the course record would be broken, obviously by him or me. So,
but to be the fastest California guy, because it's so fragile, to manage that whole stretch, because it's like, do I want to, give so much here, and then maybe not be as sharp as I want to at state or next. It's a balancing act in November, right?
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be how many of those really strong efforts we can limit and how many of those we can excel at. So it's all what meet matters. So I mean, definitely I'm going to give it my all on finals and state. Those will be my super all-out efforts that I just want to give it my all and don't not look back. And then definitely if I hopefully make it at NXN, that'll be another super hard effort. So there's so many that a body can take, especially since we're going to be racing week after week. So definitely got to just stay on top of the recovery for sure, the nutrition, the sleep, because it is taxing on the body for a season. So yeah.
Last thing for you, sir. Obviously, you had the edge and the upper hand against one of the, I always felt like you were one of the best sophomores in California history. Now we're seeing two of the new best sophomores in California history, one of which is in your section, and Mario Montoya, the other being Elias Thronson from Davis. Obviously, you had the upper hand at Clovis. He has the upper hand today. Not that you are ever lacking any motivation, but is that just the reminder that it's like, if it's not an A race day for Maximo Zavaleta, never mind trying to win a state title. I got to worry about protecting my home in the southern section.
No, yeah, definitely. That's something I definitely learned last year. Was I did perform well in sophomore year, but there's always going to be someone better. You're not going to be the best. There's always, given time, there's always going to be a better freshman, a better sophomore, a better junior. So it's just how the race goes. I just got to focus on what I can control, focus on what I'm doing, and definitely I'm going to come back stronger and just make sure that hopefully that it doesn't happen again, So.
And remind yourself when it's that last 300 meters on the track, you want that body language, that energy, that drive, and that determination to make sure that you're the only person looking at that finish line for the first time and nobody else.
Yes, sir.
Maximo, stay healthy. Again, an incredibly courageous and ambitious and team-oriented past 3 weeks. Your sacrifice for the group last week was truly admirable, and obviously we want to see not just a 3-week stretch in November, we want a 4-week stretch carrying all the way to December to Oregon as well. Great job again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.